In the vast, sprawling cosmos of Norse mythology, one figure stands above all others, a being of immense power, boundless wisdom, and relentless ambition. He's Odin, the Allfather, the ruler of Asgard, and the chief of the Aesir gods. But his story isn't just one of kingship. It's a tale of sacrifice, prophecy, and an unending quest for knowledge, all in preparation for a final, cataclysmic battle. So, who was this one-eyed wanderer? And how did he become the most revered and feared god in the Norse pantheon? Our story begins not with Odin on a golden throne, but in the primordial chaos before the 9 realms existed. From the void of Ginnungagap, the first being, a giant named Ymir, was born. Alongside him came Audhumla, a cosmic cow whose milk sustained Ymir, as Audhumla licked the salty ice blocks of Niflheim. She uncovered a new being, Buri, the first of the Aesir gods. Buri had a son, Bor, who in turn married a giantess named Bestla. Their union produced 3 sons, Vili, Ve, and the youngest, Odin. The 3 brothers looked upon the world and saw only the brutal, chaotic reign of the giants, led by the colossal Ymir. They knew that for a new order to rise, the old one must fall. And so, in a momentous act of creation and destruction, Odin, Vili, and Ve waged war against their own ancestor. The battle was titanic, but the brothers were victorious. They slew Ymir, and from his immense body, they forged the world as we know it. His blood became the oceans, rivers, and lakes. His flesh formed the earth, and his bones were raised to become the mountains. His skull was hoisted up to create the dome of the sky, held aloft by 4 dwarfs, while his brains were tossed into the air to become the clouds. From the sparks of the fiery realm of Muspelheim, they created the sun, moon, and stars. And from 2 driftwood logs found on the seashore, they created the first humans, Ask and Embla. Odin breathed life and spirit into them. Vili gave them intelligence and emotion, and Ve granted them the senses of sight and hearing. The world, Midgard, was now complete, a realm for humankind nestled within the branches of the great world tree, Yggdrasil. With the cosmos ordered, Odin and his brothers established their own realm, Asgard, the fortress of the gods. But Odin was not content to simply rule. He was consumed by an insatiable thirst for knowledge and power. Driven by a deep-seated fear of the future, he knew that the reign of the gods was not eternal. Prophecies whispered of a final day, Ragnarok, the twilight of the gods, when giants, monsters, and the forces of chaos would rise to destroy everything they had built. To prepare for this inevitable doom, Odin embarked on a series of harrowing journeys, willing to sacrifice anything and everything for wisdom. His most famous sacrifice was for the knowledge of the runes. The runes were not just letters, they were cosmic secrets, symbols of immense power, that held the keys to understanding in shaping reality. To learn their secrets, Odin performed a ritual of self-sacrifice. He pierced his own side with his legendary spear, Gungnir, and hung himself from a branch of the world tree, Yggdrasil. For 9 long days and 9 agonizing nights, he hung there, battered by the winds, without food or water, teetering between life and death. At the very edge of his endurance, just as his life was about to fade, the vision came. The runes revealed themselves to him, a flash of insight. He had conquered death to seize knowledge, a feat that cemented his status as the god of both wisdom and the dead. But even this profound wisdom was not enough. Odin knew of a well that lay at the roots of Yggdrasil, the well of Mímir, whose waters contained all the knowledge of the cosmos. The well was guarded by the wise being Mímir, who was actually his uncle. Odin traveled to the well and asked for a drink. Mímir, knowing the value of his well, demanded a steep price, one of Odin's eyes. Without hesitation, Odin plucked his own eye from its socket and dropped it into the water. The pain was excruciating, but the reward was immeasurable. As he drank from the well, visions of the past, present, and future flooded his mind. He saw the threads of fate, the coming of Ragnarok, and his own destiny. This sacrifice gave him a perspective no other being possessed, but it also cursed him with the burden of knowing the inevitable doom that awaited them all. His missing eye became a symbol of his core belief: no price is too high for wisdom. As the Allfather, Odin presided over Asgard from his high seat, Lysgolf, from where he could observe all that happened across the 9 realms. At his side were his 2 ravens, Hugin and Mímir, whose names mean thought and memory. Every morning, they would fly out across the world, and every evening, they would return to perch on his shoulders and whisper all the news and secrets they had gathered. They were his eyes and ears, ensuring that no event, no matter how small, escaped his notice. He was also accompanied by 2 wolves, Jerry and Freki, who sat at his feet. Odin himself never ate. He sustained himself purely on mead or wine, giving all the food from his table to his loyal wolves. Odin's role as a god of war was just as important as his quest for wisdom. But he wasn't a god of brute force like Thor. Odin was a master strategist, a god of the tactical aspects of war, of inspiration, and of the battle fury that could turn the tide. He was the leader of the Einherjar, the spirits of the bravest warriors who died in battle. Half of these chosen slain were guided to his great hall, Valhalla, by the warrior maidens known as the Valkyries. In Valhalla, these champions would feast, drink, and fight every day, honing their skills in preparation for the final battle. They were Odin's elite army, waiting for his call to fight alongside the gods when Ragnarok arrived. Yet, for all his power and foresight, Odin could not escape his fate. The prophecies he had seen in Mímir's well detailed the signs of the end. A 3-year-long winter, the Fimbul winter, would grip the world. The bonds that held society together would break, and brother would turn against brother. The great Volf Fenrir, a son of Loki, whom the gods had bound long ago, would break his chains. Jarmungandr, the Midgard serpent, would rise from the ocean, spewing venom and causing catastrophic floods. The fire giant Surtur would march from Muspelheim with his flaming sword. When the Hohenzollern is sounded by the watchman Heimdall, the final battle will begin on the plains of Vigrid. Odin, adorned in his golden helmet and wielding Gungnir, will lead the charge of the gods and the Einherjar. His destiny, as he is known for ages, is to face the monstrous Volf Fenrir. It is a confrontation foretold and inescapable. In the ensuing clash, the mighty Allfather, the wisest of the gods, the seeker of knowledge and the master of war, will be devoured by the great Volf. Odin's story is a tragedy. It is the tale of a leader who foresees his own demise and the destruction of his world, yet spends every moment of his existence fighting to delay it, to understand it, and to face it with courage. He sacrificed his comforts, his body, and his peace of mind for the sake of his people and for the hope of a world reborn after the fire and flood. His legacy is not one of a perfect king, but of a relentless seeker, a flawed but determined father figure who understood that true power comes not from invincibility, but from the willingness to sacrifice everything for a greater cause. And that is why, even after the echoes of Ragnarok fade, the name of Odin, the one-eyed Allfather, will be remembered. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the heart of Norse mythology. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more tales from the ancient world. See you next time.